Greetings, Assembly disciples. I'm Bill Bailey, your parliamentarian. Some of you are new to the Assembly, welcome. And others of you just need a bit of a reminder of our rules, since it's been 2 years when we've last met. Briefly, I would like to review the special rules and procedures under which the General Assembly operates. In an allotted time, we will be dealing at this Assembly with 4 categories of business: reports, operational policy and organizational items, sense of the Assembly resolutions, and items for reflection and research. Reports are discussed on the floor but are received by virtue of inclusion in the docket. There is no vote. In the case of operational policy and organizational items, 4 actions are in order. These items may be adopted or not adopted. They may be committed to reference in council for revision and brought back to the floor for consideration by the current Assembly, or they may be committed to reference in council to designate an appropriate body for further investigation. That body then reports its findings to the General Board. These same 4 actions are in order for the sense of the Assembly resolutions: adopt or not adopt, commit to reference in council for revision, and commit to reference in council for designation of an appropriate body for referral. Finally, items for reflection and research may be accepted or not accepted. If you are still with me and you recognize the item on the screen, please raise your hand. Excellent. This is the docket. If you haven't already discovered this, you will find Assembly business items and other pertinent business guidelines and information in this book or on the General Assembly website. If you receive the docket, you will have noticed that at the end of each business item is the name of the ministry from which the item is originated. Each item has been reviewed and debated by the General Board. Each item indicates the Board's recommendation to the Assembly. As each business item is brought to the floor of the Assembly will be advised of the General Board's recommendation. Please note, you are voting on the business item itself, not on the General Board's recommendation. If you still have your hand in the air, it's okay to put it down at this time. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about who has the right to address the moderator and the Assembly. Assembly disciples fall into 2 basic categories: voters and non-voters. All Assembly disciples have the right to access the floor and the right to speak. Can you guess which category of disciples has the right to vote? That's right, the voters. Your name badge indicates your voting status. But just to be sure that your vote is recorded, please sit in the specially designed areas for voters. In some of those voting sections, your family is allowed to sit with you. Most of the votes will be done by voice vote, but we at times do require counted or standing votes. If for some reason you are unable to stand, please indicate that to your usher, who will help to make sure your vote is counted. During this Assembly, there are 5 floor microphones in the hall. Numbers 1 and 3 are green in color, are to be used by those speaking in favor of a business item. Microphones 2 and 4, red in color, are those speaking against a business item. Microphone 5, black and white, will be used for procedural matters. The first speaker on each item is from the submitting organization, and they will be speaking from microphone 1. As you approach any microphone, first speak with the microphone monitor for guidance. If you have procedural questions, please go to microphone 5. The first words out of your mouth at any microphone should be your name, congregation, city, and state. Unless the moderator or Assembly modifies the time, you will have 3 minutes to speak. A 30-second countdown clock will appear on the screen as you near the end of your allotted time. When your time has expired, the microphone will go off. You might as well give up. We can't hear you. This has been a brief review of complex rules and procedures. These rules are intended for large groups to deal with complex issues in limited time. But we are disciples of Christ, so we count on the presence and the leading of the Holy Spirit. Now back to live action.